When we look back in time, some of our past can take on a mythical characteristic in our mind. In episode 4, Graham looks at some family legend and the influence on his views.
You know, the
Brian's
Yeti,
middle.
he'll be there tomorrow.
Uncle Graham.
Not the Yeti.
Uncle Graham.
The Yeti still lives?
Yeah.
Who's the Yeti?
Oh, Dave, you don't know who the Yeti is?
The
Well,
Yeti of the Promisland.
many years
The
ago,
Yeti of the
many
Promisland?
years ago, there was all this carry on about the Yeti being a myth, right?
Yeah.
And we searched the world, to work out whether there was some truth to whether the Yeti lived.
They had a distant photo in the snow in the mountains.
Yeah, but we weren't sure. We weren't sure. But then, Dave, we stumbled across this place in this sort of like this tropical, subtropical type environment, and there we found the Yeti.
The Yeti of the
The
Promisland.
Yeti lives. I kid you not. It was an amazing sight. It was all those years of searching. We found the Yeti. Did I hear
Great,
that?
half an hour or 10 minutes.
Did I actually hear that right? Yeah. Did Bob actually say I'll be back in half an hour or 10 minutes?
He did.
I mean, he doesn't quite know when he's coming back.
Do you know, it's a phenomenon at this Promisland time. It's the first time I've actually known, you could say 10 minutes or half an hour. That's quite common and accepted. That because it would give you some latitude.
So there's some truth in the language.
There's some truth in the language. You could say, and argue quite successfully, that the correct way to say it is I'll be back in 10 minutes to half an hour.
Look at those hand motions. 10 minutes to...
The universe understands this. But half an hour to 10 minutes? How do you do that?
No, what he said, half an hour, and then he thought, I might try and get there earlier.
No, he didn't think about it. It just rolled right out.
Half an hour or 10 minutes. The Promisland time is the only time known that it actually is in reverse. So if you think of time and how we think of it, then if you think of Promisland, it's exactly reverse. Yes, that could be the same as Promisland time. But you know what, though? As true as the Yeti exists, and as true as we found him, true it is because of Promisland time. This is what's happened.
That's right.
He
He should have been dead years ago. He's getting younger.
This is
As he
so
looks
true.
older.
This is so true. There is no way the Yeti should still be alive. There's two phenomena. There's the Yeti and there's Promisland time. And somehow, in the universe and all this stuff, these things have come together. Like they've like collided. What are the chances of that? What are the chances of that?
I want you to tell me the story of the Yeti and your wine collection. Have you heard of this?
I have heard of it. Yes,
This is a very, very famous
It is
story.
a very interesting.
He's traumatized already.
I'm trying to get over it.
He's trying. Graham had amassed this magnificent wine collection.
Well, in my years of working in restaurants, apart from
An investment fund.
apart from the joys of being up late at night, but apart from that, we won't go down that particular path. But one of the things about wearing a bow tie at a restaurant was just that I was privy to the finest wine that was available for restaurateurs to. And
Wolf Bar,
a lot of these
Black.
black labels and Grangers and all this magnificent Coonawarra Cabernets, and it was just a sight to behold. The magnificence of this collection was just extraordinary.
I've brought up some difficult
Would be
moments.
worth a bit now, wouldn't it?
Mum, you're not helping, Mum. Graham he'd just been getting over this in the last few years, and now you've put him back.
I have to
It'd be
go back
worth
into
a bit
therapy. But anyway.
But surely you have a bit of respect for a man like Don that has such appreciation of and the subtle flavours that he imparted to it from the oak cask in which it was.
Yeah, that's the reason. That's the reason.
Yeah, look, maybe if I can get over it, I may return to the completing the wine story, but I'll just go off to the bottle of wild turkey story. So one of my trips back from the US, I brought back, in those days, you couldn't get this here. 101 proof wild turkey, litre bottle, or whatever it was in ounces. It was a massive bottle, the biggest I could get through customs. So I came in and, at the farm, and Rob said, "Oh, what do you reckon? Oh, we'll just have one and we'll go into town." Anyway, the next morning we all woke up and we go, "Where's Don? Where is the Yeti?" Oh, he must have gone off then. Oh, well. Anyway, I didn't think much of it until I said, "Rob, might have another drink of that wild turkey." And I looked up and I remember thinking to myself that someone must have just poured it out, because there was just a little bit left in the bottom of this bottle.
At least you didn't drink it all.
Don managed to drink, while we're in town, an entire litre of over 100 proof wild turkey in one sitting. Get up before anyone else, piss off down the back of the farm on a tractor, hoping
That you wouldn't
that no one would notice. Well, you may not miss 1 ounce or even 2 ounces, but an entire bottle?
Maybe,
That I could live with, because
maybe.
that was replaceable. Maybe, next time you went back, it wasn't any big deal. But the wine was...
probably,
something else.
probably.
You left it when you
I
were
left it and stored, nice and secured in the farm, bottom of the cupboard.
In your bedroom.
Like that. Bedroom.
How long when you came back?
Come on, Graham, out with it. You left it nice and secure. Now you left it there.
I'm sorry, I can't remember.
Nice and secure. So when you left for a trip overseas, for probably 8 or 9 months or more, depending if you stayed at my house or not.
Well,
Then it could be more.
it was a bit hard to know where I was staying those days.
Oh.
And it was actually literally all gone.
Well, all the bottles too, no empty bottles, just all of it.
Well, if he'd left me the bottle, at least he would have left me something. All gone.
What did you ask? Did you ask the
Robert what happened? Did you ask Robert?
Oh, now you are being funny.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess you left it here, didn't you?
Well, this is a man that says, "Yeah, well, I suppose it's off." When someone goes to say, "Oh, yeah, I think I chopped my finger off." "Oh, yeah, it's off. Yeah." You still got 9 others. Oh, well, actually 7. 2 of them are thumbs.
What do you think? What do you think about Graham's wine collection?
Great, you'd better go and find his finger. Rob, I think Redfoot's eaten his finger.
Whose finger was this?
Young Bertelson.
Oh, yeah.
Chopping wood up there. Pump, chops his finger off at the knuckle. He comes in and, he's going, "Oh, I think I chopped my finger off, Rob goes, "Oh, I'll give us a look at it." And unwraps this greasy old rag and goes, "Oh, yeah, it's gone."
Well, Rob went outside to look for it.
I still reckon there's some classics there. The kid was riding his motorbike through and he hits this stump and he goes head first into the ground like this. So anyway, they take him into the hospital, and the nurse comes out and says to Rob, "He seems okay, but we're going to have to keep him here." And Rob goes, "Well, why?" He says, "Well, we were concerned because we asked him where he lived, and he kept saying he lived on the Promisland." Obviously, Rob had to explain to her that he did actually live on the Promised Land.